Hi, and welcome to this week's update. Since we last talked, there's been some direction that we've received from the U.S. Department of Education and the Higher Education Policy Commission about students that would be available for our emergency relief grants that we actually announced a couple of weeks ago. Those grants are now limited to students who are eligible for Title IV. Title IV funding is students who receive Pell Grants or students who receive student loans. So if you're receiving a student loan, or you're receiving a Pell Grant, or you're eligible to receive one of those, then you're eligible to receive the emergency relief funds. Just as a quick recap, the emergency relief funds basically come in three different ways. Number one, if you had a lab this past semester, we give you a grant equal to the amount of that lab because we assume you're going to have to take that lab again. Secondly, every student that's qualified will receive a $200 technology grant to help cover the costs of your phone, your computer, your home internet, and all those types of things. And the third thing is that if you're an eligible student, you can actually apply for an additional $400 by going to the college's website, and you can click on the link there and go ahead and make your application. Take you about 5 minutes. There's two other groups that were disqualified that we mentioned before, and that is students who were involved, who were enrolled in solely online programs, and number two, international students. So we're starting to get more and more clarification, but we're moving ahead with checks going out this week. Some of you may have received some already. The next thing I wanted to talk to you about today is enrollment, because we're starting to look ahead to the fall. First of all, if we just look to the summer right now, the latest enrollment figures we have is that we're down about 41% in summer school. And we assume that this is because of the coronavirus. If you look at what's going on nationwide, and there's a lot of information out there about polls that have been taken and surveys that have been taken among students, it's not unusual to see 30 to 40 or even 50% of students choosing not to return in the fall. And obviously this creates a significant problem for us. So we're watching our numbers. A lot. The good news is that our applications are up going into the fall, so we're very excited about that. But the news that could create a challenging financial situation is that we're down about 10% in overall students coming back next year. Now, compared to other institutions, that's actually pretty good. But what it still could do is create a serious financial problem for us when we enter the fall. I will tell you that I know we're out recruiting hard. Our faculty has joined in to help go after students to return. We're working well, trying to get a large freshman class in, and so the work is going on. We're still down 10%, and this is something we're going to have to keep an eye on. I think everybody would understand the negative financial impact it could have if we don't bring in the number of students necessarily to maintain the fiscal integrity of the college. In regard to the fall, let me announce something today that I think would have your interest. Today I've asked Ted Lewis, who is our provost, to chair what we're calling the B-States Back Task Force. And what it's going to focus on is creating an action plan that would give us a range of options for the campus to resume our operations in the fall of 2020 in a manner that we hope will ensure the health and safety of our students, our faculty, and our staff. We can't wait until the fall to see what's going to happen. We have to start planning on the health and safety of our students coming back in the fall right now. And so Dr. Lewis is going to chair that committee, and he'll be selecting representatives from the faculty and the staff and the students to actually work with him to get a report together that will be presented to my office on June 15th. So we've got a blueprint of where we want to go in the fall. We fully intend for our campus to be open in the fall of 2020, and we know that the coronavirus has created a real world of basically uncertainty and caution, but we have to plan now in a manner in which we as a campus respond to what a lot of people call the new normal, so that we can assure the health and safety of all of our students, our staff, and our faculty. On one last note, last weekend we celebrated the birthday of Hamilton Hatter. And Hamilton Hatter was the first principal. They called it a principal at that time, not a president. Was the first principal of what would become Bluefield State College. And it was kind of interesting that it happened at the same time. We've got some wonderful news that we've actually received. We received a grant for $67,000 to be applied to renovating Hatter Hall. Last year, the Schott Foundation provided us with $107,000 to put a new roof. That work has already begun. And now we've got an additional $67,000 to really bring that building back. I want to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Deidre Guidant and Tim McKenzie. It was really their efforts that went out and secured this grant money so that we will renovate Hatter Hall. So we're very excited about that. Congratulations to Deidre and Tim. You guys did a wonderful job, and we're just very excited about what the building is going to look like when we get it finished. So that being said, I'd like to thank you, and I hope you all stay safe and healthy.